took us so long to get back on the stage. I mean, we're back where the wine is.
Hi, this is Tracy with BackstageAxxesss.com, and we are here with Jeff Scott Soto, and we're at the Willow Creek Winery. Try and say that real quick. I had a tough time with it all day. Yeah, especially after tasting the awesome chocolate wine that they have here, a sweet and a dry. Definitely check it out. Jeff, you're still touring for your latest solo effort, Beautiful Mess. How's the 2009 tour going so far?
We're taking a little break now because I'm getting ready to start rehearsals with Trans-Siberian Orchestra again for another winter tour. I started working with these guys for their upcoming album Night Castle, which is going to be released in October. And they've added me to the winter tour that they've been doing for the past 10 years now. I think this is the 11th year, actually. And they keep me quite busy. So we'll take a little break, and then we're going to resume back in, I think, sometime mid-January and do some more dates.
The Willow Creek Winery is located near Buffalo, New York, and you have a guitar player, Howie Simon. Mm-hmm. He is originally from Buffalo. How did you guys hook up?
And the drummer, David Dezilak, actually. Two Buffalo guys. Howie moved to California about 15 years ago, something like that. And we knew each other through a lot of different circles. Just naturally, everybody knows everybody. It's such a small hard rock community in L.A. But it took us a while to actually hook up. He knew of my work, but I didn't know how he played. And it wasn't until I was actually looking to do my first solo outings, I needed somebody who was able to play the old Yngwie stuff, the Talisman stuff, but also to be able to play some of the more current stuff that I was doing. And it was such a well-rounded show. I couldn't find any guitar players that could do all that stuff that were available. And I was just jamming with Howie. I think it was a Christmas party I had. I invited him over, and he was playing everything I wanted him to play. He's like, wow, I got to check this guy out. So we used to play basketball together, and we knew each other that way. But it wasn't until I actually heard him play at a jam that I realized he needed to play with me in my band.
So how is it being the young gun in the Rock and Pop Masters tour?
Well, not that much younger than everybody. I just look it, I guess. It's the mask I'm wearing. No, I honestly, these guys are, I've always looked up, especially the guys in Orleans. I've loved this band for years, and it's an honor and privilege to be a part of this whole organization now. And there's a lot of things coming up that I hope to be continuing working with them.
Great. Let's talk about the book that you're working on called The Voice.
Yes, I'm not as much involved with it, so I don't know all the details about it. Originally, it was a really good fan of mine from Germany that wrote a German version of it, and he did such a thorough job, but there were little bits and pieces missing, but we were concerned that the core audience that wanted to read it, you have to put it out in English, and he wasn't good enough to actually translate it. So my tour manager got involved with it I think late last year, and they've just been deciphering the whole thing and translating it, but also filling in the missing pieces, and it's going to be more complete autobiography, I guess.
Okay, great. All right, then let's move on to the WET project, the CD and the DVD.
You can say WET.
All right, all right. Fill us in on that. Who came up with the acronym, and what does it stand for?
We were all looking for something to call the project. We had a working title that the record company put on us, but none of us liked it. And I wanted to associate the little project with everything that we already done together, because I already know they're going to put the sticker on that says Jeff Scott Soto, formerly of Talisman and Journey and blah, 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 and this guy from Eclipse. It's already going to be there, so why not make it part of the name so you don't really have to put a sticker on there? It's going to say Work of Art, Talisman, and Eclipse. And, of course, we didn't want to call it Ute or Twee, or so luckily it's spelled wet, and we were able to find a name out of that.
Now, you spent some time with Journey. Reflecting back, what were some high points with that?
Well, every day with those guys was a high point. It was one of those things, you don't really dream of replacing anybody. And I mean, as an artist, you dream of obviously having your own legacy, your own audience, your own songs, but growing up, I mean, I knew all those songs. Journey was my life. Steve Perry was my mentor, and to sing with those guys was kind of like one of those dreams of when you're driving down the street singing, and everybody in the car is going, man, you sound just like Perry, man, you know all those songs. So it was kind of an outlet to be able to do that finally and do it with the guys who originated those songs. So for me, it was a blast. It was a lot of fun. You know, it ended up the way it did in unfortunate circumstances, but fortunate for them, they found the guy they needed to move on, and fortunate for me that I could just continue making my own legacy.
And how was working with Yngwie? I know he's a perfectionist of sorts. I
love that question because I always answer it. I never worked with Yngwie. I worked for Yngwie. Back then, it really was the process of, it was like graduating from high school and going back to kindergarten, and literally was, because I was only 18 when I joined him. I was just fresh out of high school, like something like 10, 11 months. So to start working with him, I got my feet wet. For the first time, I got to tour Europe, got to tour Japan, doing all these things. It was a crazy, wow, this is what it's like. But on the other hand, when you read all the magazine back in the day, it was Circus and Hit Parader magazines. You see the tours and everybody's backstage on the bus, and you're like, wow, that's the life. And it was nothing like you imagined, nothing like I thought it was going to be. In fact, it's polar opposite. And you finally, you have to kind of find where you make it yours and appreciate it. It was a tough time back then, but Yngwie and I are still friends today, so that's the important thing.
Very good.